All right, and we're live. All right, welcome everyone to Connecting Flights. I'm Samir Moussa. We have Victoria Renee under the weather today, but she still showed up with a trooper champ. Today, I guess we're diving into, what we have, which is special for sure, and how it all started at a pre-Grammy party. And who
Yes.
knew that it turned into all of this? Later that week, we would find ourselves in the recording studio working on some tracks together, some records. And here we are years later, continuing the story with so much more yet to come. Um, so, anyway, without further ado, welcome, Victoria. Good to see you. How are you today?
Good to see you too. I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
You
I'm
hanging in?
alive. Yeah.
Yeah, you're alive.
I'm hanging in. The thread is not super thick, but I'm in
Yeah,
there.
but you're in there. Cool. Okay, we'll catch you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I always love starting by asking how your week's been going, but since you're under the weather, I mean, could
How's your week going?
you have some energy if to share what's, I mean, for me, it's been going well. It's been an interesting week. I have, what can I say? Working in the studio is a good environment, lots of, creative projects coming through. And just this morning, I was walking in just to say, hey, because I like this client that was in there. She's a good friend of ours. We both worked with her, Donna. She was in there today, so I rolled up and I brought, it's summertime and I got little girls, so they came with me. And
Oh,
before I knew it, she pulled them into the booth. And so they were recording tracks this morning. And I was,
no, the girls?
yeah, and it was like they were like, "Oh my God, you're exactly what we needed." Like, because she was there working with the producer, and they're like, "Man, we need some young voices to like pop this chorus."
Like a gang vocal?
Yeah, like a gang vocal. Yeah, but with like the,
Children.
the children kind of. They wanted that, and then
That's sick.
I unannouncedly showed up because I just wanted to say hey to her,
Did
and
they have so much fun?
yeah, I mean they're young, so they're kind of like, what's going on? I think my eldest one is kind of like, this is not her first time in there, and she's kind of like afraid of it because I think she knows she can sing, but doesn't really want to step into her power yet because she's really young, and
I
but
understand that.
it keeps coming at her, and she's like in there again, and she's so it's a trip to see them. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised,
Yeah.
they hang out with me, so sure
Yeah.
enough, they'll be there at the right time. But anyway,
The
so that was
studio is
probably,
a magical place and it also is a terrifying place. I've
yeah,
seen so many people like not to be like a downer, but like
yeah, yeah,
cry in the studio because it can be overwhelming.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
trying to get something and there's miscommunication and people, especially when I was in girl groups. But then when you get it and then you just feel like you're just flying afterwards and it's the
yeah,
best. And then you like have a producer that speaks the same language as you and then magic happens. But yeah, it's just a lot. It is just, I guess it can be scary.
yeah. It can be scary, especially when you're kind of young and you're trying to, figure stuff out. Not
Yeah.
even quite realize who you are and what power you can bring. And
You're afraid of your own success.
yeah, and just like not ready for a lot of things, let alone like a spotlight on you. But listen, your girl band, what talk to us about that if you can. I mean, I don't know that much about what that was about. How did
Really?
that, yeah.
Yeah, so I was in do you remember making the band?
Yes, I do. You were in that program?
Yeah. So
Really?
well, sort of. I was in like after Danity Kane broke up, I was in like the new group, which was Forever Heartbreak. Like we were supposed to be like Day 26's sister group.
Yeah.
And it
Okay.
was a lot. It was a lot. It was like five girls. We were all contracted to live together. We still were working.
Wow.
7 a.m. rehearsals, insane rules.
Cho- choreograph.
Oh my God. So much choreography. Like
Yeah.
our breath control was on point
Yeah.
because it had to be.
Yes.
It was a lot of pressure,
Right.
no mistakes.
Was this a tour? Did you tour with them with Ariana Grande, or was that
No, that was
like
a
solo?
different group. That was she.
Okay.
Uh-huh. It's kind of a weird story. So like, yeah, basically I was a there was a tour. It worked backwards, right? So there was this spot on this tour and this producer was like, let's make a group to go on this tour, and I'd worked with him once or twice before, and he was like, "Can you just like do the vocals and like be the artist, and we'll have two dancers who are kind of doing vocals, but mostly just heavy choreography. But also, I'm doing heavy choreography." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So he funded the whole thing and put us on the LGBTQ tour. At the time, that's the amount of letters that were in it,
Okay, right.
and it was so much fun. I mean, we had a blast, but it was it was so fun. But it also taught me to be able to just go with whatever. Like I had so much choreography to learn that changed on a dime, and I had to be able to do it. Like,
Yeah.
like, hey,
And
we're gonna change this whole number.
the
We're
art of
moving the whole
blending.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
All of the choreography that you spent the last 2 weeks where, by the way, we did not have much time.
yeah. Right.
So, but like, luckily, like the two girls, you can get away with it when you're the lead vocalist,
Yes.
right? But like, not it was a lot of choreography. It was fun. I loved doing it. It was just a
Yeah.
really good time. And then the interviews afterwards, and the crowd. It was a huge crowd. I'll show you some. I should send you some pictures of this.
I'd love to have some pictures of this and be able to share that.
Yeah, the crowd was crazy. It
Who
was
was
young.
what? Who's the? You have me thinking also about producers now, and so do you remember who the producer you
Yeah, it
were
was.
working with at the time?
Yeah, it's Lars DK Music.
Lars DK Music, and how was it working with him? How many producers
He's
did?
amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Two, just two. It was me. It was a girl named Rachel. It was a girl named Alex.
right.
They're great. Just they're just Alex has just danced with everybody. She's danced with Madonna. She's danced with
God,
Usher. She's danced with J Lo. She's danced with all the majors.
yo,
And like, like when I say dancer, I mean fucking dancer. Sorry for
yeah. I
cussing.
mean, you can't be playing at that level.
Yeah. And
But
then this
yeah,
other girl, Rachel, she just she was on So You Think You Can Dance, and like
right.
it was sick. We had a great show, and the songs were so fun.
Yeah,
Did you ever see my Tiger Heat video on
yeah,
YouTube? Okay,
yeah.
that was with she.
Okay,
Yeah, Lars is a great producer too. Just a great human being overall. Like,
yeah.
just really good.
Awesome.
Um,
Man.
yeah,
You still in
yeah.
touch with them? Still in touch with them? You know what he's doing these days?
I haven't talked to him in a while. I know he had invested in some technology stuff and was in that world
Oh
a
yeah,
bit.
nice.
Some interesting things happened there.
Yeah, sure.
There may or may not have been a girl who took my vocal and toured with Europe, and
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Drama. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not drama. I
Not
don't care.
drama. Just
I know how much stayed on the tour.
industry. Yeah. Moving
Yeah.
and shaking.
See, here's the thing. I just like I've been through so much stuff in the industry,
Right.
and like no one's ever been able to like
Yeah.
break my spirit, you know?
Oh, good. Good. Good.
Until like now. I'm
Yeah.
just like sometimes I'm just like I'm tired a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just oh
I
man,
mean,
there's
you're
been
working
so
on.
many things where it's so like everything you've ever wanted is right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it just like that mythological like story where it's like the gods curse this guy and there's water right here, but every time he goes to drink it, it goes down, and
Oh God.
the
I know
grace
what I
goes
know what
up.
it feels like. I totally know what you mean. I've kind of been with you on, in terms of in the industry for a long time, and from so many different capacities, and so in, but I feel like we have some interesting conversations happening right now, that I
Yeah,
feel really good about.
you're right. You're
Unless
right.
you know more than I do, which is possible, because but as far as what I can tell, as of the last couple of days, it's like
Yeah.
it's on the promise swing, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
right,
That is true. I have a lot of stuff going on. It was just like some other stuff that kind of just hit me yesterday.
Okay.
That was just like, oh man, this like really like amazing actor that I like super like respect. And he was just like, we were watching this thing and he was like, wow, wish there was more of that in it. And I was like, yeah, me too. Like, you know,
Yeah.
and then that's like this other project that I had going and they were like, this is my lead in this. And they were like, we want to do it, but then this thing happened. And I'm just like,
Uh,
man,
yeah.
like I was so excited about those things. And then it just kind of pulled the rug. And it's just like, it hurts a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a resilient situation, and all that's ever been said is like you can't quit, and that's where you get it. Like
That's it.
you just can't quit, and then you get it. And it's like because like you know, the conversation is circle. That we're having right now is kind of like making me understand how far it's been for how long it's been for me this journey in the industry and different
For sure.
people that I've talked with and projects that have come in
Yeah, that's better.
that way. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I feel good about that. And I'm
And you've been doing this for a long time and you've come full circle multiple times. It's just like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
but
it's not an easy dance,
it's
definitely.
not.
So
And
like
I
this
just
is
feel like
where like we can talk about like how do you stay inspired in those moments, right? Because like everybody has it. Even when you're at the top of the game, it's typically like a 15-minute,
yeah,
and then you got to really even you got to rework it. So Victoria Renee Hand, how do you keep yourself motivated in these moments? Like how?
honestly, here's the thing. I've never felt like this before. Like I'm not, like I said, you can't break my spirit.
Yeah,
Like I just
yeah,
not, I've been through the ringer in the
right.
business and I've always been fine because I just knew this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like I'm not gonna do it. I don't know how
yeah,
to do anything else.
yeah, yeah, right, right, right.
I'm an entertainer, not just as my job, it's a personality type.
For sure.
But but man, sometimes I just
Yeah,
kind of just feel like someone just stepped on my throat, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah.
But I'm fine, it's just you just moment by moment.
Right.
And there's a lot of good stuff happening right now too.
Yeah, it reminds me. I felt like because I got some stuff circulating around here in the
Mhm.
personals that I felt like would be a good. I was thinking on my drive back in today from the studio. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like we just started with some like some good news, like just celebrate some of the good wins because
Yeah.
because there's real stuff happening all around us. Like, and some of it further away, some of it right there. And
Yeah.
and so I guess that's how I kind of help myself through those moments is like really get into
Gratitude.
yeah, but like heavy, like heavy in it until because it's yeah, until it's like a lifestyle where it just like, helps kind of maintain
Yeah.
because it's already vulnerable when you're out there as an entertainer,
For
wait,
sure.
people if they love, you're already putting yourself out there on thin ice just as your day to day,
Yeah,
let alone projects have to have a little sprinkle of good luck sometimes.
they
And
do.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah, they do. And I'm really good about that. Like I'm a naturally some people are just like their bars. I am a naturally happy person. I
right,
don't like being
yeah,
anything less than.
yes,
And when I am, I pull out real quick.
yeah,
Like whenever I have it, I'm really good at blocking intrusive thoughts. I'm like a master at that.
right. That's good.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but like I think everybody has a breaking point,
right, right.
you know?
Yeah, you know, and yeah, and I'm sure that there's something to be said about even like the when you build yourself back up,
Yeah.
um, like, but yeah, they do, and yeah, with that, you know, there's always two sides to it. So like for me, the game is always like, what's the other side of that break, and from
Yeah.
my experience from that break, it definitely just when I, back in the day when I was on the brink, is I had, uh, you know, I was used and abused in the industry. Okay, right? Yeah, it's happened. And then when you have that moment, you're like, man, you know, uh, just kind of helps reorganize where you're at, where you're at, what
Your
your
priority.
value is,
Yeah.
and how you want to go forward, and then kind of like, and then again, just kind of eventually, rest, sleep,
Yeah.
take some time off. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
get back into your body, and get back up and keep going and keep your
That's
eyes
it.
open for the other because you and I also speak on like the endless possibilities, right? Like
Yeah.
it's always there and it's now. So like, once
Present.
one
Whatever.
door closes, another one opens. It is exhausting, when you're kind of like holding your breath on these and there's so much inflation of creativity and imagination and like
Yeah.
your heart is on there and
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's not for the weary,
It's not.
yeah,
And like I've been, like I said, like I've been, bullied online. Like none of that stuff bothers me because
right,
I'm very much like in my own body. Like
yeah,
I know who I am. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And like it's it's nothing like that. It's just the thing of it's right there, and then it, and then I
true,
guess it's just like I just wanted the full circle moment to happen
yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm
I
just
mean, it's funny you should be like because I'm feeling like we unless you know more than I do, it feels like we're having an interesting full circle moment that I think
yeah.
unlocks a lot of possibilities. Um, but yeah, I understand you got your head in a lot of projects. You're coming at it from so many different angles, and like the amount of projects I know that you've been in this year alone has been like a multitude. So I can
Cra-
only imagine what kind of emotional investment you have in these babies. So yeah, yeah,
It's a lot. Yeah.
it's a lot.
That and it's just like, just yeah, just these people who are like, wow, you are I don't know how I'm going to say this, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
people are just like you have all of the things.
yeah,
And I'm like, "Thank you." I
yeah,
I don't know what do you want? Like
yeah, yeah. What are we
what's the
gonna do
next
with it?
thing? Like what's happening? And like I think I'm just like people trying to use, oh, well, you don't have big numbers yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not likable. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Like, you know
Right,
what I
right,
mean?
right,
Like
right, right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's just and if it doesn't translate, it doesn't translate. But I don't know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
But then people are like, that's a cop out. Like just to be like, oh, it's numbers. If you don't have numbers, then you know, but then like you can't get signed. But that's just a reason for people to not sign you,
right, right,
kind
right,
of a thing. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. The
yeah,
second part,
right.
it does feel like that because I feel like all these artists these days like that we're just getting signed based upon popularity as opposed to talent. What happened to development deals also? But like,
Yeah,
I'm not in a development deal. I have records.
yeah, yeah,
I have the shots. I have the choreography. I have the whole show.
right.
And so it's just, I just am, I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah. I do know what you're trying to say, and it kind of reminds me of what you finished with last week, which may be a good time to go into that chapter, which is like, we were talking about the four agreements and like and how
Yeah.
that helps us kind of like navigate the waters that we're in, like and with it, anyone's in, uh, regardless of what field you're in. Some of them may be more vulnerable because we're putting ourselves out there in the entertainment world or in the
Yeah, that's
creative
part
world.
of it.
But so like circling back to those, let's remind ourselves or touch on them on how which of those you could like maybe step into more
Implement.
at this time, implement,
You're right.
because
Yeah. I think right now, like, I think the best thing is just like being present. Like, that's not one of the four agreements per
no,
se, but it's
right,
like, there's just so many things in our business that are outside of our control,
right,
and
yeah,
so you just have to just do whatever the next thing is. Like I have press that I got to do right now, and I don't feel like it, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it anyway because that's
Right.
what we do,
Right. Right.
you know? Um, and it's like, just do the next thing. Just answer the question.
Yeah.
What are they asking?
Just do the
Just answer
best
the
you can.
question.
So it's like one of the agreements is just do the best you can. So like, just be there and just
Yeah,
answer the questions like you can. You go where you got to go, to the best that you can, and just like and own that power and just like
that's
move.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Be your best. Even when you don't feel your best, be your best.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm trying to do right now. And it's just, I know that it's all, there's really exciting things in the works. It's just, I kind of had just my heart stomped on last night, but I'm fine. And it's not even a bad thing, really.
yeah,
It's all good stuff, but
yeah.
it's just like,
Ugh,
you know,
never good to
um,
hear.
yeah, anyway,
And yeah,
but yeah, it's just I'm resilient, and that's what resilience is and like grit, just
yeah,
like being able to just take the punches, and sometimes you just I need a day, I
yeah.
just need a day, and then I'll come back refreshed tomorrow
Right, right.
because that's all. I don't know what else that to do. That's the only thing
Yeah,
I know how to do. You know what
oh
I
yeah,
mean? Like it's just a part of the job, honestly.
yeah.
And like I do love this business, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like
Right.
I'll take it all. I just like I can't do it. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't
Yeah.
want to do anything
Yeah,
else.
no, you've made the choice, and which is why for I see it'll all hindsight 2020, and like it's so uh, easy, much easier to say than it is to experience, and I've experienced it both ways, and I've said it to myself, and it's something you'd like to hear when you're in it, but like when you say it's happening for you, and not
Yeah,
to you, like yeah, and that life is tough, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like those kind
I
of
know.
things, like those are the exchanges that we're making. Like, yeah, it ain't easy, but it's worth it. You
You're
know,
right.
okay, it feels like it's a hit on me, but maybe this is because it's going to nudge me somewhere else, and that's where I need to be. And that happens all the time. It happens all the time. I can't tell you how many times I feel I'm supposed to be going this way, something throws me off course, and then pop, there it is. Like,
And
oh
there's
my
a
god,
reason
you know.
why.
And you never know where it's at. So like I appreciate you saying, coming into the present, just staying here and now, just and then owning what you can, doing the best move next. But yeah,
Yeah,
but it's there are days where the give and the take. Sometimes it's really hard, but you got to give.
yeah, it is
This
for
is,
sure.
yeah, definitely.
For sure. But I mean, again, I would rather, fail at being an artist and succeed at something I don't care about.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
honestly,
right, right, right.
which sounds insane. Maybe it is insane,
No,
but
they say it all the time. Better to try and fail than not to have tried, right? But like this is the thing, you can't see yourself for where you are too, because the amount of success that you've had is already like, like we don't see ourselves where we're at because we're in it, you know. But
yeah,
I'll be the first to remind you that like the heights that you've reached and your successes already are you know
yeah,
there's a line of young artists and girls who be like that's I'm trying to get there, but because you're
yeah,
there
right.
you want to keep moving, and that's the nature of it, right? Like we're
Yeah,
always expansive, so
you're
even when you hit,
absolutely right.
yeah,
And well, here's the thing. I think, like when I was young, the stakes have changed, and
right,
when the stakes change, and like if I actually said what was really happening, like what just broke me yesterday,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it would sound maybe a little bit ridiculous, but not really
yeah,
because you're in this, you get why that hurts so bad.
yeah,
But like,
yeah,
it's just a thing of like the your problems change.
yeah,
Like Jeff Bezos has money problems, and so does the homeless guy on the street.
hmm,
What problems do you want?
yeah, yeah,
And these again, it's just higher stakes,
yeah,
right? High risk, high return, low risk, low return.
right, right, right.
So, you know, but no one ever. You got to take risks in your life. That's how this whole game is.
Yeah, it's how you win it.
Yeah,
It's how you win it.
that's how you
And
want it.
I believe in you. And look, I appreciate you. I know that you weren't feeling all that well this morning. I just found out right before this happened. I'm not going to eat up all your time up here, but
Okay.
But I'll thank you for coming on. I want to stay on with you and just catch up, make sure I can be that the guy I need to be for you right now. And
You're the best.
and thanks everyone who's listening to us now. And come back. We'll be back again stronger next week. And
Sorry, guys.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave you guys. See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.